What's up, YouTubers? PokeJediTrek's here. So, before we get started on today's cooking video, you'll notice where I am is actually at my mother's house instead of my new home that I moved into a couple days before the winter solstice last year. And let me tell you this. I'm filming my next two cooking videos at my mother's house instead of at my new home because I honestly thought my housemates would be really supportive of my YouTube channel, and I was wrong. So yeah, and I know my mother's going to be full of chagrin, but all I can say is tough Tango India Tango Sierra. So anyway, my first cooking video in this house before I return. So the cooking video, first I'm going to show you how to make DIY hot chocolate mix. Yes, I know it's springtime, but if you live this far away from the equator, above the equator, or if anybody who lives below the equator where it's autumn, or if there's anybody who's planning to take any trips to areas to the other side of the equator and far away from there, like Argentina or Chile or New Zealand. So yeah, this would be perfect for anybody who's planning to take any trips down there. So let's go over what we need. So, hot cocoa mix is actually pretty simple to make. All you need is salt, powdered or confectioner sugar. You also need cocoa powder and dry milk powder. So let's get started. So, what you're gonna do first is you're gonna add the hot cocoa mix. First things first, you're gonna need a mason jar to store it when you're done. So first things first, the things you'll need, you're gonna add 2 cups of powdered sugar. So here's a quarter cup. Actually, here's an alternative. This is actually, I know. Oh boy, this is not easy, but here's the other 1.25 cups to add to the mason jar. God, this is not easy. I'm trying to get it all in there without making a mess. That's the tricky part, is getting it in there without making a mess. Then you're going to need 2 cups of cocoa powder. Here's a quarter cup, half, three-fourths, a whole, So the mason jar I used was too small, so I'll have to do it this way instead. Just mix it all in a mixing bowl. But I did get a whole cup of cocoa powder in there. Now all I need is another whole cup. Well, I just added the other whole. Now we just need 1.5 cups of dry milk powder. So here's the 1.5 cups of dry milk powder. Here's a half. Here's a whole. One and a half. And then you're going to add the dry milk powder. And then here's the teaspoon of salt. Now you're going to get a fork and you're going to whisk everything together. Along great, even though I'm getting chocolate powder everywhere. Be sure to clean this up. Alright, so as you can see, I heated up some milk in the microwave because we're going to experiment if it tastes better with milk or with water. We're going to start with milk. even though I ironically added dry milk powder, but still, it should be the same. Hopefully it should taste like store-bought hot cocoa mix, because I know for some of you it might seem meaningless, because if you just bought store-bought hot cocoa mix or if I used any, it would have eliminated the meaninglessness of this video. Anyway, that looks thoroughly stirred. Let's sample. Let's sample how it tastes with milk. Alright, so here's how it tastes with milk. It is a little bitter, but not the best job I've done, but I don't know, maybe it tastes better without milk. So, yeah, it's still a little bitter because there are still traces of unmixed cocoa powder, and I meant to make sure they're thoroughly mixed, but anyway, let's move on to how it tastes if you use water. I've already got the water boiling, so just gonna add the hot cocoa mix. So here's the hot cocoa mix in the mug. Now I just gotta wait for the water to finish boiling, and I'll mix it up and sample it. Okay, so I just added so the water is done. I'm gonna add it to the hot cocoa mix, and I'm gonna stir it around. First, put the kettle back. Alright, now I'm going to sample this. Okay, so here's the sample of the hot cocoa made with water, using water instead of milk. Let's sample. I think it tastes better if you use water, because there's already dry milk in the mix, so kind of meaningless to add more milk. Yeah, this is how you make so yeah. I'd say water is a better alternative to milk. So anyway, that's how you make hot cocoa mix from scratch. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. What's up, YouTubers? PokeJediTrek's here. So, before we get started on today's cooking video, you might notice where I am. I'm actually back at my mother's house instead of the... I've already added the hot cocoa mix to... I've already got the water